Good evening and welcome to Interlude. It's that midweek time for me to refocus or remember to get back on track, and hopefully for you also. So I started thinking this week about all those things that I wanted to do. You know, like all the dreams I've had, some since I was a kid, and never thought they'd ever really come true. The ones that seem so far-fetched that even I laughed at the thought and never said them out loud. You with me? Do you have some of those by any chance? Hopefully. Hopefully I'm not alone. So a new thought occurred to me though this week. Is why not? And why not now? Why not step into who I want to be right now? Become that me now. Take actions in becoming my best self, because that's who can actually fulfill those dreams. Those wild dreams that were put there for me. They were put there to me because I'm the one who can fulfill them. Best of all, it's not too late simply because I'm not dead yet. So I started this little mantra. Why not now? Why not me? It's my dream, so it's all me. Nina, I'm going to put a little plug in here, okay? So just heads up. This is a quick plug for the prayer chaplains, your prayer chaplains, because they are here 100% for you. And one song that is a reminder of who those prayer chaplains are is, the lyric goes, "When I forget, will you remember for me?" Your prayer chaplains are a big yes to that. So give them a call or an email to support you in those times that you forget, as well as in those times that you want to celebrate because you remembered. So should you choose to reach out, you've got options. You can call the confidential prayer line at 425-742-7610, or you can go to the website, click on Pray in the menu, and follow the prompts from there. Or you can email prayer@unityinlynnwood.org. And we'll put that in the media chat for you. So now, getting me back on track, getting me back on task. My reminders. So, things that help me remember. And yes, you guessed it, music. So, with that, let's take a breath and let's give me a little beat. Beauty flows right through me, and I'm a part of everything I see, so alive. I'm astounded by the majesty I see, so alive. I awake to all the possible in me, so alive to the magic, so alive to the dream, discovering that life is so much more than what it seems. I cannot be content to just survive. I'm part of something infinite and free, and so alive. The universe is calling me to be, to love beyond my boundaries. The universe is calling me to be, to listen more, talk less and hold the line. The universe is calling me to be. The universe is calling. calling me to be? What if now I start to be the one I'm meant to be? What if now I begin to shine my light? What if today is the day I celebrate the beauty of my song? What if now I finally let my spirit sing? Everything would find its perfect place somehow. What if now? There is a place in time when you notice there's a reason behind the rhyme. It's to have a life experience so divine. You're awakened now. It's your time to shine. There's an instant when you're ready for your life to begin again. You have opened up your mind and you're listening. You're awakened now. It's your time to shine. There's a beacon of light inside your mind. It is the way and the truth and the light. A truth that can only be described as love. Follow its path. Shine your light around the world. Shine your light for every boy and girl. Shine your light for all to see. Shine from sea to shining sea. Shine your light for you and me. Shine for all eternity. And so it is.
Good evening. Thank you, Nadine, for that beautiful prayer. My name is Reverend Nina Clark, and I'm the Associate Minister here at Unity in Lynnwood. And as you already know, this is Interlude, our midweek service that we have put in place for you and for us to have a midweek pause to remember who we are and recenter in the truth of our being and be able to carry that forward into the rest of our week. Last week, we talked about how Unity teaches the importance of taking time to be in the silence. And Unity defines the silence as a state of consciousness that we enter into for the purpose of making ourselves available to divine mind. And I shared last week some of Unity co-founder Myrtle Fillmore's thoughts and wisdom on the matter. She said, "In the silence, we shall know the presence of God." And she invites us to set aside regular periods every day for prayer, times that are most convenient for you, and to use words of truth during our silent periods, making ourselves open and receptive to the leading of the Spirit. And she also tells us that as you change your thinking and bring it into line with truth principles, a transformation will take place in your consciousness. Your mind will become keen, awake, alert, illumined, and your body temple will be filled with new life. And she said we will be inspired with new and practical ideas that will enable you to succeed in a larger way. And so we do all this lovely work in the silence, and we find that inner spaciousness, know our oneness with all of life. But then when we open our eyes and stand up, are we able to carry that consciousness into the rest of our day? How often does it happen that we get up off our meditation cushions and grump at our kids or yell at other drivers on the road, give the stony eye to a coworker, decide it's all their fault, whoever they are, and on some days we don't even make it to the door of our own house? I don't think we're alone. I remember a story I read about 16 years ago about a Jesuit priest who had such a moment after years and years of practicing. I emphasize 16 years ago because being as I don't remember the name of the book or the author, I may not have every detail correct, but the gist of it is there. So to my memory, he had returned to his hometown to give a talk. He considered himself to be deeply spiritual. He meditated regularly. He was well known and spoke often and was highly regarded. And he had agreed to stay in his family home, and his delighted mother welcomed him with open arms. She saw him to his room, and he let her know that he'd be busy preparing his talk for the next day. And once the door was closed, he decided that he would meditate first. So he arranged himself to sit in the sacred silence. About 10 minutes in, there was a knock on the door. A little bit irritated, he decided to ignore it, thinking that she would go away. A minute passed, and the knock came again. Moderately irritated, he continued to ignore it, thinking indignantly to himself along the lines of how important it was to not disturb a man who was sitting in loving prayer. Another minute, and the knock came again. He leapt up from his seat, yanked open the door with something harsh and irritated ready to fly from his lips, only to see his mother standing there with a tray of tea and cookies in her arms. She looked startled to see his angry frown, and she stepped back. I just thought you'd like some tea while you wrote," she stammered. As he told it, in that moment, he saw through his own thin veneer. He'd been leaving most, if not all, of his work on the meditation cushion. He'd created this notion of himself as a godly man in touch with God's love, and yet the person that walked through the rest of his days was run by a rather large ego. So here he stood in the doorway, filled with irritation and "I'm too important to be bothered," while love stood at his door with a tray of tea and cookies. He wasn't able to carry the state, he realized, even the distance from the cushion to the door. He was humbled to his knees, and instead of continuing to work on his talk, he invited her in, and they laughed and reminisced and drank tea. And he shared this story as a wake-up for himself about how sneaky our beliefs can be, how we can fool ourselves about who we think we are versus how we show up. So how can we live in this juicy state of being that we cultivate in the silence into the rest of our lives? For me, this is part 2 of our meditation practice. Pray without ceasing. What does this really mean? To me, this means that our state of consciousness follows us wherever we go, or we take our state of consciousness with us wherever we go. The sum total of our state of consciousness is always manifesting in the world of form. What is it that we want to be creating? For me, then, my time on the cushion is like my reset button, my time to slow down and cultivate, remember, remind myself of who and what I truly am, to bring that into my experience again, into the forefront of my mind, into the forefront of my experience, and to take time to consciously release all that is not the state of consciousness I want to express in the world. My goal is to strive to bring what I cultivate on the cushion into my daily life. I believe that we're not supposed to leave it on the cushion. We're not to do our 20 or 30 minutes or our hour or 2 hours of sitting in the silence and then leave it on the cushion. What we cultivate on the cushion in the silence is something that we can bring with us into the rest of our day. We need to embody that God consciousness that we cultivate in the silence into how we stand when our cushion time is up. We are to strive to bring that presence that we cultivate in the silence to all that we do. Will you join me in a time of meditation? I invite you to allow your eyes to gently close, to make yourself comfortable, trusting that your body knows just what it needs to do to be comfortable. Notice that you are being breathed. Follow a couple of those breaths and in and out, and allow your body to relax into this moment. Let go of your day, all of the things you've done, even the words that you've just listened to. Let it all go. And let go of any of the things that you have yet to do before the day ends. They can wait. They'll still be here when we're done. Just bring all of your attention to this moment, right here, right now, and allow yourself to just be here. Place your attention on your head and notice if there's any tension in your face or skull. Wiggle your eyebrows or move the muscles of your face to break the tension, and then just allow your face and head to relax. You're going to place your attention on your neck and shoulders and notice if there's any tension there. Shrug your shoulders or wiggle them to break that tension. And then just allow your neck and your shoulders to relax. And now place your attention on your arms and your hands and notice if there's any tension there. You can shake your arms and wiggle your fingers to break that tension. And then just allow your arms and your hands to relax. And now place your attention on your chest and your abdomen. And notice if there's any tension there. Breathe deeply into your ribs and your abdomen, allowing that breath to just release any tension that's there. And as you exhale, allow your abdomen, chest, and your ribs to just relax. And then bring your attention to your back. And notice if there's any tension there. Go ahead and breathe deeply into your back and allow that breath to release any tension that's there. And then just allow your back to relax. And now place your attention on your legs and your feet. And notice if there's any tension there. And you can wiggle your legs and wiggle your feet and your toes if you want to break that tension. And then as you exhale, just allow your legs and your feet to relax. There is just one life, one presence, one mind, one ground of all being that is expressing right now, right here, where you are as you. Drink that in. Allow that truth to have its way with you Allow that truth to permeate every aspect of your being. And now imagine that you are walking along a mountain trail. The air is comfortably warm. The sky a brilliant blue. There are wildflowers in every color along the path. As you walk along this path, enjoying the sounds and the sights, know that at this moment, you are beingness itself, even though you are not sitting on a cushion. Imagine now that the path opens up into a beautiful meadow. Tall grasses gently wave in the breeze around you, and the cheerful call of birdsong floats through the air. Leaves rustle on the trees around you, and the sun is perfectly warm on your face. As you walk through this meadow, enjoying the sounds and the sights, know that at this moment, you are beingness itself, even though you are not sitting on a cushion. Imagine now that this meadow gives way to a country lane. You stroll down that lane into a small, quaint town. Noticing the shops and the people and the cars, the children and the dogs, the bustle of human activity. And as you walk through this town, enjoying the sounds and the sights, know that at this moment, you are beingness itself, even though you are not sitting on a cushion. A person comes up and asks you for directions. As you respond, you notice that at this moment, you are beingness itself, even though you are not sitting on a cushion. Imagine how it would feel to have this experience of beingness as you're driving down the road. Imagine how it would feel to have this experience of beingness as you're talking with your kids. Imagine how it would feel to have this experience of beingness as you are Zooming with fellow co-workers, even though you are not sitting on a cushion. This state of beingness is with you always. It is who you are. The cushion helps us remember it, to cultivate it within ourselves. Then we get to practice carrying it consciously into our world. And so it is.
Thank you, Nina. What a wonderful lesson. I will definitely be remembering that one. If you would like to donate tonight, you have some options, and all the information will appear on a slide for you. So we have text to give, or you can go to our website, click the donate button, or you can mail us a check. We do want to thank you for your generosity and for being here with us this evening. Now, as we bring this interlude to a close, I am reminded to release what does not serve. I am reminded that I am and I have all that I seek. It takes courage to be. It takes courage to show up and be seen. Repeat after me. Here's who I choose to be. I choose to look in the mirror and see my truth. I know my truth and my power. I look at the blank pages of tomorrow. It takes courage to be me authentically. I am all that I seek. I rise up, put pen to paper, and create my life. I live, I love, I laugh, I serve. Every act of love towards myself and others inspires more love. We stand up in support of one another. All sisters and brothers in love. My life matters. My voice matters. I matter. Living courageously. Being authentically audacious. Daring to be me. This is who I choose to be. For me and for the world. Let's do this. And so it is.
I release and I let go.